Uh, how many in the audience followed the recent cricket news? RCB and RR both getting bought at, $1 billion plus numbers. Okay, a few hands. So we all, love cricket, and we all, follow anything to do with cricket. And this panel is going to be delving a lot more into sports, gaming, and the confluence with digital and media. So let me start with Pritish. Pritish is with Huddle, one of those first pioneers to bring the infrastructure, tech, and the community together. Huddle does a lot of work on racquetball sports. I have known them for some years now from my association in tennis and pickleball. So, Pritish, coming on to you straight. Huddle's been at the intersection now at, getting more and more of us to come and play. We've had a huge movement from the center, Fit India. We've, had the Khelo India games now for some years. And India, as you know, has made a serious bid to hosting the 2036 Olympics. Tell me, how has Huddle seen the evolution in tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and presently how is your technology helping in getting more of us to the courts?
Right. So thank you, Pankaj. I believe that sports is so fundamental that everybody has played something or the other, when they were young. So when you talk about tier 2 and tier 3 cities, they are not different. They have also been playing for a long time. So from my point of view, it is not really a demand problem. There is enough demand out there, and there is enough supply as well. It's fragmented across different locations, different places, but it's basically a coordination problem. So in tier 2 and tier 3 cities also, like Raipur, like Chhattisgarh, and like Pithoragarh, Bahadurgarh, Anand, these kind of cities are also, listed on Huddle, and we cater to them. And most of the business, you would be surprised to know, happens online, because people there don't have something like that which provides them convenience. Easily they can see transparently what is the pricing, what is the availability of these courts and places that they want to play at. And once they start playing, the community is strong inherently there, because they are anyway, interacting with each other daily. It's not as disconnected as in cities. So it grows quite exponentially. So we have places like Anand, Jamnagar, as I said, where places are going full, and even especially in Gujarat, because of no alcohol, I shouldn't say, but there is nothing else to kind of do. So sports is booming there quite a bit. Even in afternoons, late nights, like 1 a.m., 4 a.m., people are playing. So it's growing quite well. And coming to your point about how it is tied to Olympics, it is not directly tied, of course. What we are trying to do here is to engage more and more people to play sports and improve that through community, through basically get them out of their couches. Once they are out, I believe that if they start playing, in future their kids will start playing and awareness will grow. And we are basically increasing the first layer of sports, which is the grassroots, and people starting to play more. So I hope that I've answered that question. But yeah.
Yeah, sure. Interesting perspective. I didn't know, Huddle was present in Anand, and thanks for that. Moving on to you, Prashant. You've had a fair amount of experience in tier 2 and tier 3, doing media work, getting a lot of entrepreneurs funded, and also the evolution of grants. My question to you, we've had a recent ban on real money gaming. And before the ban, Dream 11 and other such large gaming companies were getting significant revenue from tier 3 and tier 4 cities and towns. How has the evolution and the impact of sports and gaming impacted, what kind of a presence do you see in tier 3 and 4?
Thank you, Pankaj. One thing I would love to tell you about this is India loves cricket, and of course, everyone loves. I don't know, I don't love cricket actually. And when it comes to Dream 11 and other stuff, I don't want to name actually, but unfortunately, we should tell. So when we say gaming, we only look after the fantasy game, the real money involved games. Okay, I grown up playing car race. I think many of you played also, right? Road rash and car race, right? NFS and all. And of course, many people played GTA as well, right? Okay. Unfortunately, we are not focusing on those kind of games, AAA games, what we are playing for the entertainment. But right now, because of games and cricket and IPL, when it comes to everyone loves entertainment, at the same time, if you have an opportunity to earn money, then it's a different ball game, right? So that's where in tier 2, tier 3 city, they are the biggest consumer at the same time. And of course, economy is really good for that because money is involved at the same time. For that involvement, you are also getting money and you are losing a lot of money at the same time. So to make it regulations, central government put around 28% GST on the service tax and all. Now it's quite down. And I don't prefer going for that kind of thing rather than building our own games because we have good amount of stories, rich culture, history. I'll take one example. We supposed to play PUBG, right? We love PUBG and there are a lot of incident happened around it. But 5G has been introduced, but we are very not good at supporting our own content, supporting our own games. We just only prefer for making money, praising what Westerns are doing right now. When we say gaming, not just cricket, there are all other things which is available and we should start promoting our games who are building right now, indie gamers, lot of indie gamers which are doing right now. And when money involved, that's not a good thing, the fantasy game, the real money gaming. That won't be a good, and of course, right now, content become really king right now. Everybody is into scrolling. So attention is become a new money game right now. I don't prefer especially real money gaming involved. I don't.
No, a very useful perspective, Prashant, and it's precisely for these reasons, the social impact that real money gaming has been banned with real currency for the time. Moving on to Prashant P. Prashant, we've just spoken about the fact that content is becoming, more and more powerful and relevant. And, from the words, content is king to saying the kind of content that you see in these large sporting events. We'll take IPL as an example. And content has evolved over there. Would love to hear from you how brands, associate with such content and how are influencers playing their part in sports.
Thank you, Pankaj, for the question. So the thing is, content, according to me, content is not just king. I think content is reliability plus distribution. So how many of you all Gen Zs here? Only one, two, around 10 people, right? So directly or indirectly, you might be like into content creation, right? Yes or no? So why this shift happened? Because content is king. Where there is a content, there is a number. And where there is a number, there will be a sales. So I would like to add an example of my experience. So how many of you know Ashneer Grover? Founder and director of Bharat Pay, right? So I was working with a company which is funded by Shark Tank. So I do not want to name the company. So I was working as a student ambassador, right? So all my responsibilities was related to promoting of the brand. So still now I do brand promotions on my LinkedIn. So the thing is, most of all, my 85% of work was on content based. So I was hosting events there. I was I was into meetings where content marketers, right? You understand graphic designing, social media marketing, getting. So the more you post content, the more you place ads, there will be sales. So this is my perspective on the content. And what's trending now? IPL, right? So you are getting more content on phone rather than TV, right? Why it is happening? Because of the creator economy, right? So yeah, this was my input on the question.
Thanks, Prashant. I mean, I'm going to circle back to you very quick on my next
Yeah.
point. But before that, coming to Pritish. Pritish, the intersection of technology in sport. You know, huddles come forward as an aggregator of sorts, as also, intermediary. But I see a larger, much significantly larger play here. In one, some of these recent centers for pickleball, demand has clearly slowed in the last 6 months. You know, the sport which was evolving and growing at a breakneck speed all over the world seems to have hit some sort of a roadblock. The other, question to you is, a lot of recreational players that I see now are increasingly, demanding more of evaluation, more of improvements, and what kind of a role does technology play or is going to play in sports? You can, maybe cite your references on football and various racquetball sports. One in getting recreational players a better experience and feel, and second in also, the present mismatch between demand and supply, that a lot more capacity is getting available in some of these sports. Yeah.
So yeah, just to put things in perspective, I would like to just bring everyone's attention towards actually what Huddle does and what we've achieved till now. We have about 15 lakh players on the platform now, and we are doing 25 lakh games every year. What that means, and each game typically has 2 to 4 players on average if it's a badminton or a racket sport, and team sports has, let's say, 10, 15 players. So you can imagine we are engaging with about 50, 60 lakh players across, in a year. And as you rightly said, there is more supply now than demand. There was a wave that we were riding till now. And especially in major cities like Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, there the supplies has definitely increased. In tier 2 cities, we are still seeing that wave kind of riding, and turfs are popping up and courts are popping up, and players are also engaging with it. In how I see this as is that this is not a demand game anymore, this is a player experience game. So when people turn up to play a sport, they are not just looking for just the court. Earlier it used to be, if you went to a badminton court, let's say 3 or 4 years ago, you would not find hygienic washrooms also. Like that was the state of the sport, and recreational sports especially. So now they can't do that. They have to build nice, good quality courts. They have to have proper hygiene, proper branding, and it has to. If it has a cafe, then it's even better, because people are not coming there just to play. They are coming to hang out after the game as well. And the longer you can keep them there, the more your business will sustain and grow. So I hope that answers the first question. I believe that if the venue owners realize that and start building on those player experiences, I think that community effect will come into play, and people will start referring that, okay, let's hang out here, and then again the demand, flywheel will start. For the second question, I believe that Huddle is right at the integration of tech in sports. We believe that we are the operating system of recreational sports. How that is that there are three layers. One is the aggregation layer, where, as you said, we have multiple sports venues that you can choose from. So if you want to play badminton tomorrow, you can figure out the nearest court and make a booking there. That is the aggregation layer. Then there is a partner side layer, which is the B2B SaaS engagement platform. So if a venue wants to manage their operations like a pro, like very smoothly, they can do accounting, invoicing, everything there. But most importantly, it gives them the right analytics and right tools to track player retention and things like that, which help them. I'll just give you an example because it comes better as an example. In Vadodara, we realized that the most of the venues were losing business to some new venue that was coming up. People went to try there, and if they are giving a better experience, obviously you lose that. So we have the third layer, which is the partner growth team, which helps these venues consult and do better in terms of strategies on how they can improve. So one venue was there which lost 80% of their business to the new client. So our business executive or our partner growth executive, they got in touch with them and told them that let's try a retention scheme where if somebody plays 2-3 hours with you, you give them the next hour free. And we enabled that through technology. If you try to do that offline, you would just be stuck in paperwork or all of those things. But with technology, it becomes very simple. So that is how we are solving, and we are the operating system of recreational sports. In terms of other sports tech, I have some experience with football. There was a company, I'm forgetting the name right now, but basically you can wear that band and it tracks your heat map and how much you've ran and speed and all of that. I believe that the intermediate to professional players, there is a use case for those wearables and sports tech. I don't have much experience there, but some visibility is there for those kind of sports. There are vests also that come. So for intermediate to professional sports, I believe that there's a lot of potential there to improve. And if I personally want to improve, as a recreational player, as a beginner, as an intermediate, there are platforms like Grip, which is also by Huddle, where you get matched to similar like-minded or similar level players based on the rating that you have. And that rating evolves the more matches you play, the more scores you add, the rating keeps evolving. So that adds some level of motivation there. Plus, we also have a feature called Huddle Vision, where there are cameras set up on behind the courts. And after the game, you can download the full recording, you can download AI trimmed highlights, and you can also get insights on how your game was. And those will be obviously premium features. But these are like some integrations of technology that we are also bringing into our universe. I hope that answers your question. Yeah.
Yeah, very relevant indeed, Pritish. And experiences are going to be defining the next wave of customer experiences. And no two doubts that, all across the globe, federations to clubs, etc., teams are striving their best to, generate more and more fan engagement and create more and more fan loyalty with the brand. And yeah, thanks for this.
If I could just end it with one short line. Earlier, if you remember, in your friends groups and old school groups, college groups, you would say things like, let's play sometime. But with the integration of the tech that we have brought, that statement has become, let's play today at 7 p.m. at XYZ Sports Center. And that makes the decision making and coordination much easier, bringing to that first point.
No, yes, very well pointed out, Pritish. Prashant, coming on to you now. I know you've been a pioneer of sorts in building up the grant philosophy, and you've helped a lot of media tech startups get access to grants which were not possible, and this is particularly in tier 3 cities. I mean, for a lot of the audience here, one, if you could help with telling us the key difference between a grant and a traditional form of investing like an equity or debt. How is a grant different, and how is it for a startup founder, how does it make more sense to obtain a grant. This is my first part of the question. After this, you could maybe allude a little bit on the AVGC policy, aviation, gaming policy. You've been a recipient of the grant. Tell us about your experience and the orange economy.
Thank you, Pankaj. I think in the interest of time, I'll make it very brief. How many of the startups received any grants here? How many? How many startups here? Okay. So I'll be very much quick now as we are running out of time. See, when it comes to government grants, there are many grants which is available for early stage startups. Maybe you can say from Startup Karnataka as well as central government. And I can say the biggest Shark Tank is Startup India, not just Sony Live, which we see in Shark Tank India, right? So there are many multiple grants which is available for early stage startups founders. You have an idea, have a proper pitch deck. It's same like a typical private investment, right? You have to have a standard pitch deck, and of course the company should be registered, and DPIIT certificate, Startup Karnataka certificate, all the prerequisite compliance certificates should be there. Then you should have a proper pitch deck, then start submitting the applications through multiple portal. And I am also a startup grant receiver in 2018. Even I am into animation and AR/VR technology. So you got a good amount of support. And when it comes to grants, which is purely non-equity funds, no need to refund also. It's kind of a free money and very low risk at the same time. If you got an investment from any angels or VC, definitely they will be on top of your head saying that when I'll get your returns, right? So for that grants, you can do hundreds of trial and error with your product. You can do a number of times. So that's what helps, especially in the grants. And coming to media, when it is media and gaming, right? I have to emphasize one thing, that Karnataka government is the first government to introduce ABGC policy, which is animation, visual effects, and gaming and comics. So I am being into animation industry. So I was also received for my animation project. So I got around 8 lakhs grants in 2018, which is a very second call from Karnataka government in those days. So still it's going on. You can do apply for such grants. And when it comes to ABGC sector, as I earlier told you, we need to create our own games, comics, and IPs, right? For that also, Karnataka government is offering around 20 to 30% reimbursement on the development what we are doing right now. There are multiple opportunities. The major gap what I have seen is there is lack of awareness. Whenever we say government funds and government schemes, we think that हमें तो नहीं मिलेगा, apply नहीं करेंगे. No, it's not like that. There are opportunities, there are chances to get. There is a right approach towards it, where I'm also helping other startups, especially in Tier 2, Tier 3 city. I belong to North Karnataka, to Kalburgi. So I mentored around 20 plus startup. In that, 15 startup got funded. So collectively we raised around 2.5 crores, purely non-equity. And yeah, here we go, and they are doing good. For early stage startups, it's really wonderful. They can do, as I told you, hundreds of trial and error, because to build an MVP also, they need to do a lot of trial and error. That this can help them a better way. Yeah.
No, thanks for this, Prashant, and thanks for telling the audience also of the AVGC grant, which the government of Karnataka has, in place, and how we can avail that would be very useful. Prashant, my last question to you, and I know I'm conscious we are running short of time here. How have influencers, created this impact in sports that today I see a lot more brands wanting to collaborate very differently vis-a-vis just running a 10-15 second ad? How has the influencer, ecosystem come together in sports?
Okay, thank you, Pankaj, for the question. So I would like to mention, it's not about only influencers. Small content creators also, they're also having lots of opportunities. So if you are particularly into sports, example, all the sports content creators, everybody wants to be an influencer nowadays, including Ronaldo, right? So one or the other type of promotions, these all the influencers are doing. It's because of brand awareness, to create more and more brand awareness. Why? Because people trust people. So if there is a company behind me, people cannot trust me. So right. So it was like it's a evolution. People are trusting people because they connect easily with each other. So when if I talk about the collaboration, each and every minute or micro influencers, they also have lots of opportunities. What you have to do is you have to get out, and I want like you to approach brands, show them your interest, and so that's how you can get collaborations.
Thank you, Prashant. And now, we officially close the panel. If the audience has any questions, anything they would like to discuss more on the sports ecosystem in the country, please feel free to engage with me and the speakers. We'll be around here for some more time.